Hi and welcome to Chemipedia chemistry classes for 12th standard. In this video, I am going to discuss about the differences between crystalline solids and amorphous solids, which comes under unit number 6, solid state. So mainly I am going to discuss about 3 points: the geometry, the way how the particles are arranged in crystalline solids and amorphous solids, followed by the two different nature, isotropic nature and anisotropic nature of these two materials, as well as the nature of melting point. So these are the major differences between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Actually, these two terms, crystalline and amorphous, derived from Greek language. In Greek, crystallos means clear ice. In Greek, crystallos means clear ice, which means that most of the crystalline solids are looking like ice. They look like clear ice. That's why they give a term crystalline solid. Similarly, a word amorphous also derived from Greek, which means no form, which indicates that in amorphous solids there is no regular arrangement of particle, as well as they do not have a definite form. They do not have definite shape. So that both the words crystalline and amorphous are derived from the Greek words. Okay. So now let us see the basic differences between these two different types of solids. The first one, the important one, in crystalline solids, the constituent particles are arranged in an orderly manner. Constituent particle in the sense either atom, ion or molecules are arranged in an orderly manner. Whereas in amorphous solids, the particles are arranged in a disordered manner, or otherwise the particles are arranged in a random manner. Or crystalline solid has orderly arrangement of constituent particle, whereas amorphous solid has a random arrangement of constituent particles. So I have given a simple idea about the crystalline solid and amorphous solid in the diagram. I think you can see in the first diagram the particles are arranged in a orderly manner. Look at the diagram what I have given for amorphous solid. The particles are not in an orderly manner, isn't it? That is the nature of particle arrangement in case of crystalline and amorphous solids. The second difference, crystalline solids have long range order, whereas amorphous solids have short range order. So I discussed that crystalline solids have regular arrangement of particles, but it is not about 100%. What is it? It's not about 100%, which means in a crystalline solid you cannot expect 100% regular orderly arrangement. Even a crystalline solid may have a little defect, may have a little of disordered state also. Similarly, amorphous solid basically has a random arrangement, disordered arrangement, but it's not about 100%. Even the disorder is not about 100%. Even in case of amorphous solid, you can expect a little of orderly arrangement also. Whereas in crystalline solid, the order arrangement can be seen for long distances. That's why crystalline solids are called as long range order. Whereas, as I said already, amorphous solid, even though it has random arrangement, for very short distances, we can expect orderly arrangement even in amorphous solid. That's why amorphous solid is called as short range order. Whereas in amorphous solid, the regular arrangement can be seen for very short distances, about few Armstrong unit lengths. Okay. So this is the second difference. Crystalline solids long range order, amorphous solid possess short range order. The third one, shape. So crystalline solids they have a definite shape, they have a definite geometry, whereas amorphous solid they do not have a definite shape, or otherwise they have a irregular shape. So okay, that's another important difference between these two different solids. Okay. Then crystalline solids are generally called as true solids. They are the real solids. They are the real solid. Solid means it's nothing but crystalline solid actually. Okay. Whereas amorphous solids are either pseudo solids or they are also called as supercool liquids. Pseudo means false solid. So even though many amorphous solids are looking in form of a solid, they are not considered as true solids. That's why the amorphous solid we call it as pseudo solids or sometimes they are also called as supercool liquid also. So what does it mean supercool liquid? Now supercool liquid is nothing but a state between true solid and true liquid. You know that glass, even though the glass looks in a solid form, it's not a true solid. Actually the form of glass we call it as supercooled liquid solid, which means that it's a state exists between true form of solid and true form of liquid. Okay. So the point is here, the crystalline solids are true solids and amorphous solids are not true solids. Okay. Then fifth difference, crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature, whereas amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Okay, so what is meant by isotropic, anisotropic? So isotropic means is nothing but a property of material having similar properties in all directions. If you measure a particular physical property in case of a substance in any direction, if it is observed to be same in all the direction, then the substance is said to be isotropic. Whereas amorphous solids are isotropic in nature, which means in amorphous solid, if you measure properties such as refractive index and other things, etc., other properties, they are found to be same in all directions. So that amorphous solid is isotropic in nature. Whereas anisotropy is nothing but property of a material having different properties in different direction. Whereas crystalline solids are anisotropic. Crystalline solids are anisotropic, which means in case of crystalline solids, if we measure physical properties such as refractive index, electrical conductance, etc., they are found to be different in different directions. Okay, so that was the nature of anisotropic nature of crystalline solids. Okay, then the next one, sixth one, heat of fusion. So what is meant by heat of fusion? So heat of fusion is nothing but, fusion is nothing but melting. Heat of fusion is nothing but the amount of heat required to melt 1 mole of a solid completely into liquid. The amount of heat required for converting 1 mole of a solid completely into liquid is what we call it as heat of fusion. Whereas for crystalline solid, heat of fusion is a definite value. That is, every crystal is having a definite absolute value of heat of fusion. Whereas amorphous solid, they do not have a definite value of heat of fusion. Okay, so heat of fusion value is not definite for amorphous solids. So that's the sixth point. Then seventh difference, important one, melting point. What is it? Melting point. Melting point is nothing but the temperature at which a solid completely changes into liquid, isn't it? Whereas crystalline solids, they possess a sharp melting point. They possess a definite melting point, which means crystalline solids melts exactly at a particular temperature. They melts sharply at a particular temperature, which means they possess a sharp melting point. But whereas in case of amorphous solid, they do not have a sharp melting point. They never melt sharply at one particular temperature. Actually, they melt between two temperatures. What you call it as range of melting point. We call it as range of melting point. That's the last difference. Crystalline solid possess sharp melting point, and amorphous solids they possess range of melting point. And we have some more differences also. When crystalline solid is cut with a knife, it may give a sharp edge, whereas amorphous solids such as plastic, rubber, etc., when you cut with a knife, they do not give a sharp edge also. That's another difference you can add with these points. Okay, giving a sharp edge when crystalline solid is cut, not giving a sharp edge when amorphous solid is cut with a sharp material. Okay. Then the last point is nothing but a few examples for crystalline amorphous solids. Sodium chloride, cesium chloride, and diamond. And diamond are example. Diamond ice are example for crystalline solids, whereas glass, plastic, rubber are few example for amorphous solids. Right. Thank you.